Hello, everyone. I'm Sue Williams from Sport Hypnotherapy and Peak Mindset Coaching. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Stuart Walter, who is the CEO of the Elite Mindset Institute, but also the athlete's secret weapon.
The secret weapon.
Not only his business, he is the business.
They're the
So
brand, the person, the business, the
that's
name,
it. Uh, and
everything.
Stuart is my coach, my trainer, my mentor, and I have come to think of him as quite a good friend. And and that's because I have been doing his athlete secret weapon practitioner training since September, was it last, or July even?
September, yeah.
Anyway, good friend,
Might be another.
July.
August?
July, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
so
July.
for
Okay.
quite a while.
Well, we are
Yeah,
friends. Look at that. We
look
must
at,
even be connected on social media.
and we're still talking.
Still smiling, still laughing. Yes.
So yeah, and that is why I'm speaking to Stuart today, just to let people know about this incredible modality that he has developed over quite a few years and is so successful. Uh, and I'll allow him to talk about that in a moment because his success with such a wide number, a wide range and big number of athletes in so many sports has been just phenomenal. And that's why it's secret because these people don't want to spread the word, especially within their sport, because they have the
Yeah.
advantage. And that's the amazing part. And Stuart has been good enough now to start sharing his incredible techniques with people like myself and other amazing um, hypnotherapists that I've come to know within
Mm.
our group. Just amazing people who will be out there carrying on this work for Stuart. Uh, and and I've been lucky enough to be included in that group. So,
Yeah.
um,
And
so
this is a
Stuart,
great, this is, oh, sorry, you're going to ask
no,
a
no,
question.
no,
Sorry.
no, no, no. I was just going to say, can you just speak to your background in sport
Mm.
and then also in business as creating this hypnotherapy business, mindset coaching for athletes and sports people?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, sir. And to anyone listening, yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Look, this I can talk for hours, you know me. We did that during our training. What I
Yes.
want to do is kind of give you a bit of an understanding of where I come from within sport, why I've gone towards hypnosis and specialized within the sports aspect of it. But it's also an understanding that hypnotherapy as a modality, as a support, as a framework, as an ability to be able to challenge and change and evolve yourself to deal with. I know hypnosis is surrounded by skepticism, but for things like weight loss and fears and phobias and smoking, it's kind of common that's where it's aware of. But it's also, you look at a lot of this, the stage hypnosis, and people go, oh, you make me do stupid things. Is that all real? Well, yes, it's real. But my thing is, why do you want to do stupid things? Sure, I can make you do stupid things, but wouldn't you prefer a stupid person doing good things? So, what are the stupid things you're doing within your, say, for example, you're riding? How can we benefit by using the same resources and tools so that every time you hop on a horse, every time you put your helmet on, you are now in this state? So, who cares about being a chicken? You don't want to be a chicken riding a horse. You actually want to be the best rider who's able to manage the fears, the doubts, the nerves, the expectations, and then to bring out your natural skill set on the horse when it matters.
Oh,
And you've
absolutely.
got the added advantage, and look, I'm probably going to go off script here because with your quantum counseling, doctor of quantum counseling, with the energy work you do with horses, the zoetic energy, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yes,
Yep.
the dynamic there, you're working with horse and rider.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can help the athlete, but then you're hopping on a horse that hasn't had the work. But
Yep.
you're the same as you can work on the horse and the rider and then combined a greater result. So for me, look, any athletes out there, any riders, go see Sue. So I'm not sure
Thank
which
you.
side you put.
Yeah.
You're on that side at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, so my experience with hypnosis is my mum and father were both hypnotherapists. Mum was a naturopath and got it. Oh, basically, no, she was hypnotherapist first. already 30 years in the profession. We learned in Sydney when I was young, just purely to help people. And we moved to Queensland, and then she was told when she moved to Queensland that you're not legally allowed to practice up here until she bumped into the person that did the training with her years ago, who was based in the Gold Coast. And he goes, no, you can practice. So then bang, instantly she opened back up. By that time, she'd actually become a naturopath, so naturopathy. So she was very good within the internals, with nutrition, dietary, and then she combined hypnosis with that. So she was very good at anxiety and dietary and weight loss and fears and phobias and addictions, whether it be alcohol, anything like that. And I was in martial arts, Taekwondo. I was kind of average, to say the least. I was good at my sport. I was fast, strong, flexible, but I just didn't have what it took to level up. Okay. We've spent so many hours together and 2 hours every week in our locker rooms doing
Yeah.
some more ongoing mentoring. Now you kind of understand me. You probably think the last thing I do is walk up to someone and beat the crap out of them.
Mm.
But that was my sport. It
Yeah.
was there's me choosing to stand on this 6 meter by 6 meter mat to choose to stand on in front of someone who's trained to kill me and vice versa. So I had to shift this because I had the skill set. This wasn't right. So I was talking to mum and went, right, can we do this? She goes, well, I'm normally used to doing this, but peak performance and hypnosis is probably a little bit different. So I guided her through my sport and the requirements and what I needed mentally to be able to do that. And there I was, sort of 90 minutes later, just going blah, 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 listening to everything. What does she know? But it's like, oh, just put my stuff back into my head. But the next day I went to training. Even my instructor is just going, what are you on? And it literally, I've never felt so clear, so focused, so powerful, so technical. And it was like I could read my opponents as to what the next move was. So the ability that I had, I then went from average to winning local, state, and national competitions within Taekwondo. And then I was basically full on training 5 nights a week, leading towards the Olympics in Sydney 2000. Unfortunately, the Christmas before that, playing soccer at a Christmas party, basically twisted the knee, ACL, medial meniscus, and that was, yeah, all confidence gone, operations, surgeries, and that was basically the end. What I also did at that point of time is because of the work that I'd done and had a single point of focus, I crashed.
Yeah.
I crashed big time.
Mm.
The savior for me was one, my training, and two, the hypnosis, which got me to this point. But it's also, I then understood what it took and why the brain was working through this. So my son was on the way from being born, and I just went, look, I'm traveling 2 weeks a year for work. I need to do something different. That's when mum said, hey, look, I'm looking at retiring. I went, all right, if I go into her business, take her existing clients, build them up, and then I can leverage off and then go and help athletes.
Yeah.
Um, so much so that when I started doing my training, even on day one, my instructor's gone, you've passed purely by, I don't know. It's like when people find their thing. For me, it was just like duck to water. It was like first day, 3 hours into the training, go, right, you're hypnotizing each other. And we've gone, oh, cool,
Mm.
bang. So for me, it was easy. I could understand human mind, human behavior based on the business work that I'd done as a national sales manager, as a business owner. And everything just blended. So what I realized is if I can just help one athlete to achieve this without doing the crash, hey, job done.
Mm.
I just found my passion and then basically set the sales up. And what I found with traditional hypnosis methods, incredibly powerful, but they're not specifically for the elite. The top 5% of people that just go, right, this is who I am. That's where I want to go. What do I need to change to make this possible? So I needed to create, and I have done over the last 18 years, evolve, fine tune, create different methods based on deconstructing incredibly powerful processes, reconstructing them, applying them, and fine tuning them. And here we are 18 years later with 48 world and Olympic champions, which is
And
pretty
oh, oh,
exciting.
it's not bad at all.
And
What
look,
can you
it's
just say a few of the sports that these champions are in, just across the board?
Okay. We got BMX, downhill mountain biking, rowing, triathlon, swimming. What else we got? Bodybuilding, football. Did I say rowing? What else we got? Winter sports. Um, what else is there? Martial arts. What are some of the weird ones? Um, Duathlon, which is running, swimming, not the full triathlon.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind that some of my athletes, even though I call them like one world champion, might have 10, 20, 30, 40 world records because
Mm.
they build on personal bests.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't count them 4 or 5 times. So if you look at the actual
Wow.
number of world records that we've had, it's over 200.
Wow.
But it's fascinating to work with these incredible, I won't say athletes. I don't work with the athlete to make them a better athlete. I work with the person who
Yes.
then naturally becomes a better athlete.
Mm.
So just like when I work with corporate teams, I work with the person to become a better person who then works better. Because if, as an athlete, you put all your end result based on the success you're going to have within your sport, you'll end up being down here because you're
Yeah,
putting
and
too
of
much
course
emphasis on the end result, not on the person you're becoming because of this.
that's right. And you did mention the corporate, and of course, corporate and elite athletes or elite sports persons,
Mm.
it's so similar
Yeah.
that they just have this goal, this ultimate goal that they're working
Mm.
towards. And the mindset part of that is so important to be able just to keep going, to overcome the setbacks
Yeah.
and to reinvent themselves
Yeah,
so that they
because
are that person.
yeah, and this is what I find, and you're exactly right, is the elite athletes becoming more like business people. Okay. They've got merchandise, they've got websites, they become influencers, they got sponsorship. Okay.
Yep.
So it's their success that creates a better payday for themselves. So
Mm.
they are their own business models. You get a lot of CEOs that are now going, hang on, the traditional 80s, 90s version of it as a business owner, the ones that sit in a restaurant all the time, they got the big guts and the ties that
Yes.
stick out over the top. You don't see them anymore.
No.
The typical entrepreneurs these days, they're wearing jeans and t-shirts. They're they're focusing on their health, they're focusing on their eating, their nutrition, their diet.
Mm.
So elite business people became more like athletes and athlete like business people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the tools that I've shared with you, they seamlessly integrate between sport, business,
Yeah.
business and sport. So
Mm.
any, and you would know within the equestrian aspect of it, I mean, it's a fairly decent investment. So a lot of these people that are
Absolutely.
also riding have got a lot of the, how'd you put it, a lot of work-related issues that potentially they're taking on top of the horse.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
then how much of that is then transferring back?
Mm.
So you would be working with, okay, here we go. You're going to be working with the horse, you're going to be working with the rider, and you're going to be working with the person that's supporting them financially to be able
Yeah.
to make it happen. So there's three different aspects of it. And I think that's where the work that we've done, the additional training, is going to really leverage on top of your existing business that was to create a whole new level for peak performance.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I wasn't looking at peak performance with the equestrians before.
Mm.
My prime goal was to allow women who had fear, maybe they'd had a fall, some sort of incident, maybe it was just unsupportive partner and family,
Mm.
and they just were at the stage where I've invested all this money, as you say, it's a very expensive sport, and it's ongoing maintenance and
Mm.
upkeep of the horse and all your equipment. And they were at the stage where they were saying, I have invested all this, but I just haven't got it in me anymore.
Yeah.
Either I'm terrified or it's just, uh, I just haven't got the joy anymore. So why
Yeah.
would I bother?
Mm.
So that was my goal, is to get these women, mainly women, like 99% women,
Yeah.
to overcome the negative mindset, to
Mm.
find out why this had been happening and then to
Yeah.
overcome it. But this training now when I get these women back in the saddle, and I've proven it already with some of the clients,
Yeah.
overcome the fear. Even one of my clients was a really experienced and high level rider, but
Yeah.
she still had that fear.
Yeah.
And she was a coach, she still is a coach, and she had that feeling that, oh yeah, people say I'm a good coach, but I feel that I'm
Mm.
pretty ordinary, really.
Yeah.
So we got over that negative mindset. She has gone up and up and up, even though she was at a fairly high level to start with.
Yeah.
And yeah, the tools that I've learned in your training have allowed me to do that with other women who I've
Mm.
got them over their fear. They're out competing again. So
Yeah.
now, yeah, now they can concentrate on being the best rider
Mm.
that they can be, not just worried all the time.
Yeah.
Concentrate on how good they can be. Step into that new person, that
Mhm.
new person who has the potential to be an elite horse rider.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
purely because of your tools
yeah,
that you've
it's
given us.
fantastic. And look, when you kind of throw it out there and I say what 48 world and Olympic champions, it seems easy, but when you actually consider the work that I've done with each one of them to get to the
Yeah.
point that they're able to do that.
Yeah.
Because I always say the only way to become a world champion is to beat one. So you've got
Yes.
to have incredible skills and resources and focus and the tools. And we're laughing this morning in our 2 hour locker room, which is the 2 hour mentoring every week that we have.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not just the training that Sue's done. It's every week. There's a massive commitment to learning more, sharing the case studies, getting more information, learning more processes and tools, and how we can adjust and adapt and fine tune to each one. And we're talking this morning in the locker room about um, getting better results and how do we build on top of that, and then how do we build on top of that, and the fears. It's just understanding the human mind. Like it's got one job and that's protect you.
That's it. Yep. Mm.
And that's all it is. So it's going to protect you from potential hurt, potential harm, physically, emotionally, financially. So if you've had a bad experience with a horse, you've fallen off, guess what? That Sue's that person to help you get back on. But then as you start doing this, the fears actually increase at the same time to
That's
try
true.
and hold you
Yes.
back. And just
Yeah.
so when you think, oh, I've
Yeah.
just broken through, no, you haven't, because this is going to increase. That's going to increase. That's going to increase. The brain's going to stop you doing stupid things again and trying to hold you back again. It's
Yes.
a completely different level. So it's an ongoing
Mm.
thing. And that's what we're talking about this morning is the stools. Okay. If you've got, just imagine a stool you've got at home, a three-legged stool. Okay? If the legs unscrew and you've got one leg, try and sit on it. Okay? Take your feet off the ground and try and balance. It's very unstable. And this is what a lot of athletes do. They spend all their focus on the physical. Right? Then they realize that, hang on, it's beyond the physical, we need the nutritional. So now put two legs on your stool. Okay? Side to side, you've got a bit of balance, but you're still unbalanced.
Yeah.
It's not until you put that third one being mindset in there, that's the one that creates the stability that goes, right, now I can build and on top of. So that's what we're saying. I mean, it's constant training and understanding and education of ourselves, but it's also sharing this knowledge with athletes to go, yeah, I'm not doing anything as far as mindset. And ask yourself as an athlete, how much time are you dedicating to working on your mindset, mental strength, mental rehearsal, visualizations, any tools and resources that you've got to help you? This is what I've been teaching, and well, this is what I've been keeping secret to myself for the last
Yes.
years. Sorry about that.
Mm.
But I've had a lot of industry to myself because of that. But it's also with the success from the last Olympics with two gold medalists, I realized that I've got a greater game in this world, which is get more information out there, which
Yeah.
is why what I'm doing with the Athlete's Secret Weapon is teach or basically selecting the top 55 in the world. And I've pushed, I won't say push, but I kind of redirected more people than I've actually taken on board. So purely by you coming through, so it's like, hang on, that's number one passed already because you've got the abilities, you've got the skills, you've got the knowledge. You've already been doing hypnosis for 6 years. And this is all I'm doing is taking existing practitioners
Yeah.
who know their stuff and then kind of building more elite processes on top of. They're
Mm.
different tools totally.
Yes.
But
Yeah. And we were also talking this morning, um, the mindset will help with the physical.
mm,
And uh, as we were saying with the relaxation, it gives the athlete the longevity. because
Mm.
they're less likely to injure themselves.
Yeah.
And you find that so many of these athletes who are striving to get to the elite level, as you did with your
Mm.
knee,
Yep.
you get to a point where it's even the mind saying, no, this is as far as you're going to go.
Mm.
So I'm going to not allow you to continue, so I'll injure you.
Yeah.
I'll force you to stop.
Hey, you're not listening. I'll give you something to warn you, which is a
Yeah,
goal. Oh, you're still training through that. I'm going to create something else. Bang,
yeah,
there's a sickness,
mm,
there's an injury, there's a broken bone, something that's going to take longer to heal.
yeah.
Mm.
Mm. And even the nutrition. If you're not that excited about eating the good diet and you'd much prefer to have junk food or whatever,
Yeah.
if you can change your mindset to realize that you're doing the best for your body by having that
Mm.
good nutrition,
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier to say, no, well, I won't go to Macca's tonight. I'll actually, go and get proper food.
Yeah. Because
You
it's
know,
it's well known that the stomach is the second brain. So whatever
yes,
you're
yeah,
thinking up here, if you're thinking junk up here, you're going to be eating junk food. If you're
that's
thinking
it.
clean, you're going to be eating clean food. But it's also
Yeah,
the stomach is the second brain. So whatever you eat affects the way you think, and the way you think affects the way you eat.
it's
But who
amazing, isn't
here
it?
is, I can guarantee people would have done that and they go, I'm going to start this exercise routine. And then all of a sudden your diet changes as well because I'm not going to eat that because of this. It just forces you to do that. And I like the analogy, and I've used it before. Imagine a brick wall without the mortar. It's just a pile of bricks all stacked up.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's pretty much what the average athlete is. They've got the nutrition, they've got the exercise, they've got strength and conditioning, they've got a coach, they've got a technical, tactical, physical coach, they've got parents, support, sponsors, but these are all the bricks.
Yep.
The bit that holds everything together is the mind. So
Mm,
it's like the mortar, it joins everything because if your brain's not switched on, your performance isn't. If your eating is not switched on, you're not going to get the performance out of your body.
yeah.
What controls your eating? Your choices. What controls your choices? The brain. So
Mm,
it all comes back to managing the mindset. And we're fully equipped with the tools and resources. And now you are as well.
yeah.
We're talking this morning about weird things like string line, tennis balls,
Yes.
rubber
I'm
bands.
a band.
Seriously, between
Oh,
those three, or and the stapler, between those, we can transform any athlete. We don't make the athlete better. All we do is bring out their internal potential.
yeah.
And the potential is very simple. It's like your existing results equal your potential or your capabilities minus your fear.
Mm,
And Sue and I are specialists in managing fear. So what
yeah.
happens? You manage your fear. So if that's your existing results and your potential, sorry, that's your potential capabilities, and this is where you are, we know that is fear.
Yep.
Minimize fear, and you're getting closer to your potential.
Mm,
It's simple. It's like
it
a
is.
golfer. If you get their best four scores, add them together, I can guarantee that is going to win any tournament in the world. So you don't need to make them a better golfer. You just got to be more consistent. The only way to be more consistent is relax
Yeah.
and trust
Yeah.
the process, trust your skill set.
And I do hope that people now are realizing more and more that it is the mindset that they really need to be looking after,
Yeah.
rather than just, full on physical training
Hmm.
until they burn out.
Yeah.
You use this commodity that we have up here that we can
Hmm.
change the whole way we look at training and nutrition
Yeah.
and the sport itself. What's the good part about the sport and what's the bad part?
Yeah.
How can we use our mindset to move away from the bad part so that we as an athlete
Hmm.
don't associate with the
Yeah.
bad part?
Yeah.
And,
So how do
but
you
and
take the athlete away from the person? So
yeah, mm,
that's what our major thing is right now you've got them back on the horse. What's the peak performance state going to be like? So every time your helmet goes on, bang,
mm,
that's who you are. Every time your foot goes in the stirrup, bang, that's who you are.
yep,
We don't, so for a lot of the time, it's this person that's creating all these doubts and uncertainties that affects the
yes,
riding, which
yep.
confuses the horse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a huge part of it. If you get on the horse and you're nervous, the horse is going to say, "Whoa, what's going on?" If
Mm.
you're nervous, I'm going to be nervous.
Yeah. And I think that's why,
You're head of the herd.
that's why it's so much easier for me to go, okay, I'm an equestrian or horse rider. It's like, go see Sue.
Yes, thank you.
Because you got the skill set to be able to manage both of them. I mean, I
Mm,
can work fairly well with my experience. I've worked with Melbourne Cup jockeys before. So I know what I need to do there, but it's
mm.
just understanding from the horse's perspective. You got the both aspects of it. So any rider, anyone listening to this, yeah, it's like a win-win situation. You
Yeah, I
basically just
appreciate
work
that.
combined
Mm.
because when you're cohesive between rider and horse, I'm sure that's the benefit because we've all seen it at the Olympics. We were talking about that this morning, wasn't it?
Yes, we were. The
Pentathlon,
modern pentathlon, yeah.
modern pentathlon, where that horse rider, the horse just had a mind of its own, didn't want to do anything. It wasn't her horse. I think they're actually, here's a horse that's selected
That's
for you.
right.
Is that correct? For
That's how
pentathlon?
they used to do it. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And I just got, and there goes, I believe that person was actually leading at the time,
Yeah.
weren't they? Weren't they number
Mm.
one in the gold
I
medal
believe
position
so. Yeah. Yep.
until
Mm.
that? And then bang, gone. So,
Yeah. Well, it's a real partnership when you're working with a horse, and it has
yeah,
to be the give and take.
yeah.
And it's not like they are a commodity, like that the mechanical horse that you can actually ride and figure
Mm,
out whether you're sitting straight and all the rest of it.
yeah.
It's a sentient being that has a mind of its own, and you
Mm,
want to just be able to connect
yeah.
and be the best partnership that you can, because that's they will benefit. They won't have as many injuries either
Yeah.
because they won't be tense.
Mm,
Tight muscles, as you say, tight muscles lead to the injuries.
yeah. Exactly. And
And
that overextension and trying to push
yeah,
something that you don't do while you're training is to basically compete while you're stressed. How many
mm,
people are stressed at training? There's generally not much. So why would
mm,
you try and stress yourself within the competition?
yeah, yep,
The only people that do that are ones that put expectations and pressure on themselves. Therefore, you're choosing that. Therefore, you're actually creating that for yourself.
yeah,
And if you
mm,
can create the nerves, the doubts, and fears, you're the one in control. You can actually remove them. And that's
mm,
why the tools and resources we've got are so powerful in empowering the athlete to make the choices, to make the changes through the processes that we've got that are not just, like we say, it's not just sitting there and go, think of a happy place. It's like,
yeah,
it's coming down here and rewiring the brain. So you go straight into trust, you go into belief, you go into confidence, you go into happiness, you go into relax. Instantly your helmet goes on. So I was like, yeah, we got this.
yeah, yeah.
What are
And
we
I
afraid of?
love that aspect of it, that you leave the housewife or whatever you want to term yourself, the mum, whatever, behind, and you
Mm,
step in to the rider, and
yeah.
that's who you become for that amount of time that you are interacting with the horse,
Mm,
because you leave all that other crap out of your mind.
yeah.
You haven't got, got to pick the kids up from school, got music lessons, got to go to the supermarket, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You leave that behind and you have that laser focus on being the rider for that length of time.
Yeah.
Put on your helmet, and that's your signal.
Mm,
Here we go. That person can stay back at the stable, back at the float, whatever.
yeah.
And I'm the one who's stepping out, taking this horse. And I mean, the whole idea of the equestrian is the beauty and the flow,
Yeah.
the relaxation, and the combination of the rider working with the horse and the horse doing what the rider is asking.
Yeah.
But and it's probably not a good word, but we talk of submission with the horse.
Yeah.
But you can't get submission if the horse is fighting against you. And
Exactly.
it's
And why is
really
it
just
fighting against you? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And
So the
this is a,
submission really is just the horse working with you,
yeah.
being a willing partner, really is what
Yeah.
it is. And you have to be relaxed, both of you. So
Mm.
it's just amazing, these tools that you've given me.
Yeah. And this is the thing. This is the big picture is the fact that we want 55 of the best around the world in certain niches and aspects so that when we all meet in Los Angeles in 2028, we've got a group of 55 people and practitioners that are the best in their sport and best in their niche. They're all there at the Olympics supporting potentially up to 500 athletes.
And that
I
was what
know
I was
that
going to
because,
ask you. What's your vision for the future for the athlete's secret weapon?
yeah, I want athlete's secret weapon to be a household name amongst athletes
Mm,
where they go, right, I won't say, think of it like McDonald's, but with good quality product.
Yes.
Oh, I shouldn't really say that, should I? All right, I did. But what we're talking about is consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, so the process of the tools and resources I've created, they're only consistent when I do it. So now I'm sharing that amongst the best in the world. They're all using the same, like yourself, you're all using the same processes with athletes. So you get in the Australian Olympic team and start working with the equestrians and the horses. You start doing that. I'll be working with the swimmers, the triathletes, track and field, a lot of the other aspects, whether it be surf. Well, what else I got? Surfers and BMX and
Yeah.
working with all these athletes. So, and I had was it 17, I think, at the last Olympics, 13 before that. So if every one of us, 55 of us, get 10, there's 550 athletes that we're going to be supporting at the elite level in Los
Yeah.
Angeles. What I want to be able to do is have, because of the tools and resources, and this is what triggered me sharing my secret
Mm.
processes, is the fact that the Olympics, I know with the two gold medalists that I had there, the work that I did, and I've gone, I can't afford to let that disappear when I finish my business and go into a different part of my world.
Mm.
So I went, it's selfish of me not being able to share them, but it's also, I kept it selfish because I wanted it to myself. But I
Yeah.
suddenly realized it's
Yes.
greater than me, because I wouldn't want me to be coming through sport, but not having access to the tools and resources. So
Yeah.
I kind of very tentatively chucked it out there and went, right, let's see if the world is ready and see if there's other
Mm.
people out there that really want to step up, which you have.
Yeah.
So I've been handing all this information across to you, the same resources, the same everything else. So I know if I'm like, we've got a medical doctor, an MD over
Mm.
in the US,
Yeah.
who is basically, well, as of well, almost today, finished his medical practice after 30 years and traveling and touring with the US figure skating team.
Yeah.
He's
Mm.
now doing sports hypnosis because of the belief of what he does. So you think about that in the medical practice. So we've got these incredible people coming on board that um, Robert can actually say, hey, Sue, I need you over here because I'm working with this group of people.
Yeah.
Or someone else over in the in the UK might have access to a football team. And they
Mm.
go, oh, Stu, can you come over and help me? So
Yeah.
this is what we want to do, is be able to create this incredible network and collaboration where everyone is working like-minded with the same resources, same tools, that's supporting each other for the athletes and
Mm.
their
And can I
benefit.
just say that I jumped at the chance when you did that first advertising of the prospect of becoming a practitioner, because I'd done your athletes training prior.
Yeah,
So I think, wow, this is good stuff.
and it is. Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
I'm not an athlete like a runner or I was a
Mm.
swimmer, but I could
Mm.
see just how advantageous it was
Yeah.
just by like that. I know you
Mm.
won't hear the click, but it's your mindset can just change
Yeah, it
like
only
that.
takes a split second to change.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And we're talking about 3,000 neural pathways that fire every second.
Yeah.
All you got to do is interrupt one of those, create a new outcome, and
Mm.
you're basically rewired forever.
Yeah.
So it's not one of these big, long, extended programs and processes. And I always say my first session is all about getting the athlete to think differently. Because so
Mm.
many people in like the typical talk therapies, like what are we talking, psychology, counseling, wellness, mindfulness, they're all talking about the past and how it makes you feel. Elite athletes go, I don't care about that. I
Yeah.
want to go that way.
That's
So
right.
that's what we do,
Yeah.
is like, right, okay, so who are you now? Where do you want to go? What do we need to change to make that possible?
And remember what you said about the horse riders too.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
not going to be sitting backwards in the saddle looking at where you've been.
yeah, looking at all the shit you've created.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, sorry, shouldn't have said that.
Perfect.
But that's true, isn't it? I mean, if
Yeah,
you've got a lot of equestrians, I do a lot of stuff with motor racing on a used example. What's it like if you're reversing around Bathurst for 161 laps?
yeah,
You're not going that direction. You look at where you've been, you no idea where you're going, you're more likely to crash.
mm,
It's the same, and I use that example for your equestrian. It's like sitting facing the wrong direction on the horse and go, oh, I'm looking forward. No, you're not. You're looking which way you're facing.
yeah,
You're actually facing everything you've ever done. And that's what you're looking at, is that you're not going that way anymore.
That's it.
So elite athletes, they want direction. They're used to being told through a coach, hey, we are doing this for this reason.
Yeah.
They
Mm.
don't care about how you feel and your favorite color or how your parents treated you as a child. So my first session is very much, all right, this is where we're going. What do you want to achieve? What do we need to change? And let's set that peak performance state, which all of a sudden, then when you hop back on the horse, then when you step on the field, when you play golf, when you play tennis, when you put your goggles on as a swimmer, when you put your motor racing helmet on as a racer, bang, instantly you're in that state. Okay, so then you get significant positive benefit instantly. Then we can come back and start dealing with some of the external factors that are influencing performance. But once you get the taste for how good and how powerful your brain is, it's just incredible. And that was the first experience I had as an athlete.
Yeah.
90 minutes. And it was like my whole life, business, everything shifted, and the results in sport shifted because of that one moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Just that
Incredibly
moment in
powerful.
time,
Yeah.
you can you almost draw the line, your life before and
Mm.
your life after that instant.
And that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. It's drawing that line and just going, bang, this is who I'm choosing to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. We might leave that there. Is there any other
Yeah.
questions you got, Sue?
No, no, that's been amazing. Thank you very much
Oh, you're
for sharing
welcome.
so much information.
I said I can talk about this for hours and days because
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, it's just if anyone, even just a slight go, oh, maybe that's for me. I over the last 18 years, I've never had a client that hasn't had some level of benefit.
Yeah. Mm.
Even just one of these resources, when applied properly, will transform
Yep.
your sport and your life. So
Mm. And
have a
then
chat
we
with
can
Sue.
layer them
Oh,
one after another after another.
I know
It's
it
just
sounds
amazing.
easy because it is, but a lot of athletes just make it too difficult for themselves by trying
Yeah.
to force themselves through.
Mm.
By training harder, training longer, all it's doing is just going to break you mentally and physically. It just
Well,
doesn't work.
yeah, you see that all the time. So it's
Mhm.
absolutely true. Yep. Well,
Exactly.
thank you. Thank you, Stuart. It's been amazing.
You're welcome, my
And
friend.
we will talk more, no doubt.
Oh, sure we will. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.